Welcome back, everybody, to another live episode Wednesday night. Happy hump day to you all out there. Very keen to rip into tonight's show. It promises to be an absolute cracker. But obviously, firstly, want to thank major sponsor of the show, proudly brought to you by Caxton Street Brewing Company. Obviously, that is now out there official. First sort of show since it's all been done. So that's the beer and that behind us as well. Myself, Trav. This is basically going to become our home away from home. You'll see us attending almost on a weekly basis now. We've gone and watched a couple of games. We've got events coming up left, right, and center as well. So if you're a local towards Brisbane area, you're going to be in luck. Following the page and things like that, plenty to come. We'll try and do a few big things when it comes to Magic Round and stuff to include everyone as well. But very excited, very happy to have them on board. Very good big things to come, which we're all very, very excited about. Jakey boy, obviously just sort of wanted to shout out to yourself as well, obviously being a bit of a family time for yourself. So just want to make sure you are doing all okay. I know the community and us are all behind you. Just want to make sure and check in and make sure you are okay. And that we're sending you nothing but love, brother.
Thank you, mate. No, I'm okay. I'm all good. Much appreciated, though.
That's right, bro. All good. Trav, Supercoach done last night. Still plenty to happen there, but how was your 24 hours?
It's been long. It's been long. I am working my backside off at the moment. It's incredibly difficult time. There's jobs to apply for. There's report cards to finish. There's annoying little jobs that you keep creating for me. It's been. I just need 2 weeks. I need these 2 weeks to go fast because I'm so very tired.
I do it. I try to leave you alone as best I can at the moment. I'll tell you what, it's proving very hard, but it's all right. We're getting it done, aren't we? We're getting it done. What caught our eye this week? Now we've got a bit of a sponsor on board as well for this one. You would have seen this. Guys, I really encourage you actually to get out there and make sure. I've had a few people reach out to me since we've made this announcement and actually almost said thanks in a way in terms of how good it is to have them on board. What's your team? Obviously, they're based up here as well. Everyone that goes to Suncorp Stadium would probably walk into that store by now. They are based at Redcliffe. We've got a 10% off code as well with them now. Use League LOI 10. And they'll also have that great giveaway that we've put up for next week at Game 2 Watch Party, $200 package for everything to do with Origin. So whether they haven't decided which state, because obviously whoever wins it gets to choose. But it's got a jersey, I think a wig, and a couple other cool little things in there as well. So it's a really cool package. And plenty to come with them as well moving forward. And they've got such a great range. So make sure you go on there, check out their merch, and start getting your merch through them. I'll tell you, it's a very, very great product, great business, great local guys that want to help us out as well. And the more you guys get behind them, the more they can do for us. So what caught our eye this week, thanks to What's Your Team? I'll go to Jakey boy first.
I'm going back to my roots. I'm going back to a footy-related one here. I know that over the last few weeks I've gone a little bit off the beaten path and a little bit, weird, but I'm going to go back to a nice footy one. I thought it was very, very average that NRL 360's moment of the week was the Lachlan Galvin try when something a little bit more important happened. What's his name now? Oh, my God. Josh Papali from the Raiders played his, I believe, 316th, potentially 317th match for the Raiders and scored 2 tries and kicked a conversion. Unbelievable achievement. Huge moment for the week. Would have been anyone's pick for moment of the week. But no. Let's get the clicks, I reckon, and let's get the views on the Lachlan Galvin try because that's more important. And I just think that was very, very average. So I thought I'd throw that one out there as my moment.
It's all about the clicks, mate. That's all it is about these days. So you're 100% spot on. Big Papa's moment was easily the moment of the round, in my opinion. That was absolutely sensational. The best part is just to go behind the scenes a little bit. When I was making that video that I put out about it, in that space of time, which probably took me about 5 minutes to do, he then scored his second. So I've already organised and basically got it loading to post, and he's all of a sudden crashed over for his second and the conversion. The video could have been so much better. So I was like, damn it, missed a moment content-wise, I guess. But honestly, it was really, really cool. So good on you, Big Papa. There's been nothing but good words said about him and how much of a good bloke he is, things like that. So very well deserved. Trav, what caught your eye this week?
Oh, look, I was actually going to talk about Big Papa, but that thunder's been stolen. So how about I go off track with a different sport and talk around how our Australian cricket team are 2 for 17 right now, and our promotion to our number 3 batter, who was promoted in Cam Green, just is out for 4 runs. I'm a massive cricket fan myself. We are in trouble. I am very frustrated with our bloody selections as an Australian cricket fan.
Where's the young kid? He's not in there, is he?
Which one are you talking about? Constance?
Yeah, he didn't get named, did he?
Once he got dropped from the Australian tour, he hasn't made it even look like coming back.
Oh well, they're almost as bad as the Queensland selectors, aren't they? I had to get that one in.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm not going to argue too much with that one, to be fair. Yeah, but I mean, we've been talking about the Australian selectors for a bloody long time about how bad they are. So, I mean, essentially, it's harder to get out of the team than it is to get in. Marnus is not out. He's 10 not out off 22 at the moment. It's Khawaja and Green are out.
Oh, goodness me. Khawaja, wow. Okay, cool. Awesome. What caught my eye this week? I looked at, once again, the draw for this week, and everyone knows I've actually raised this the other day, but I look at some of the matchups this week, and I'm absolutely just beside myself as to why this is getting put on at the time it is. So Sharks versus Dragons, a local derby, is now being affected by Origin. A couple of Origin players out, Val Holmes for the Dragons, things like that. It just doesn't have the same atmosphere about it. That should be a really big game. The other one that I just find absolutely mind-boggling, it wasn't that long ago there, we're setting a record crowd. The Bunnies versus the Dogs on Sunday at 4:00 is absolutely shredded by Origin players, Origin stars. And we haven't heard one thing about this game this week, where last time that they played, it was literally all over the news, things like that. So I'm just not too sure what's actually going on with the draw at the moment, because this is 2 big Sydney clubs. They should be playing and encouraging a crowd when it's suitable, which is not affected by Origin. And we're losing a really good game that could have been an absolute cracker. We all know the history of these 2 clubs when they meet as well, because of the Origin impact. So, yeah, kind of what caught my eye is the fact that the NRL just cannot get this draw right at the moment. Really frustrating. Really frustrating.
Yep, I agree. 100%. Definitely. We've spoken about it a few times. I mean, look, but to be fair, like, the draw's been out for a long time. Like, we knew this was coming. Like, it is what it is. Origin, obviously, players and teams are not picked until a week ago. So, like, I mean, I know what you're saying, but yeah.
They would have had a good idea knowing that, like, Crichton would have made it for sure. Obviously, Max King is a surprise. I get that. But people like Latrell being named isn't a surprise at all either. Like, there's a few stars that you could have easily noted, knowing, being a rugby league fan, that could have happened, and it has. But hey, it is what it is. I'm going to stop talking about it because it's very clear no one is listening that can make decisions, and that is all well and good. Leon, if you didn't tear up when Papa kicked that goal, you are just saying, well, you know what? I don't know. I won't agree with the sentiment that you're saying, but I do agree. Like, it almost got me. Like, it was amazing. And watching actually Ricky on the sideline and how he sort of just stood there and just soaked in that moment. It was enough to get a man. There was a few dust storms, I reckon, in a few lounge rooms watching that. That's what I'll say about that one. Davey boy, the Bulldogs team is still very strong. They should lap their opponents. How does Gould do it? They're all about depth at the moment, and it's showing. They all assign those utilities, and there's a reason why. Good to see the Raiders finally get a buy by Chris. Yeah, exactly right. They are absolutely flying. They're in such a good spot. Go look at their draw. I think they are more than odds on to win the minor premiership this year. They are absolutely flying. Our power up segment. Now, I hope there's a few people in here from our draft group because this has been a topic that has been quite heated in the draft chat for a while now. I've seen it in some posts and things like that as well, some talking points. So our power up segment, thanks to Vital Man Supplements. Again, guys, Michael Witt does own that, the ex-footy player. He had an interview with us at the start of this year as well. Get behind it. Code word as well, leaving LOI to get to himself. But he's currently got an end of financial year sale, 25% off, to give you that little bit of an extra kick moving forward. So the kick out challenge on Moses, there's been plenty of backlash from it. Some saying it shouldn't have even been a penalty. Some saying sin bin was ludicrous. Others saying it was all legit, play on. A rule's a rule. It's pretty black and white now, that rule, I feel like. And that's just the rest. We whinge about there's no consistency in the refereeing anymore, and there is. And then there's a big blow up. So there's a bit all over the shop happening with this one. But I'll go to Jakey Boy first. Thoughts on this one? There's been, as I said, plenty of backlash about this, but where do you stand on it?
I think the way the rules are at the moment, I believe that the send-off was fair. And look, while I'll admit this, Mitchell Moses milked that for all it was worth. That is absolutely true. He milked that as much as he could. Don't get me wrong. Kick out also needs to be better. Like, it's been a rule for a really long time now. No contact to the legs of the kicker. Ever since Ilias broke his leg, that's been the rule, right? Plain and simple. And the one thing I'll say here is, geez, we bag out the refs for inconsistency all the time. I'd argue this is the one thing that I've seen that they are on, like, they are pretty much consistent with every time. If you hit the legs, you go. Basically, the same things happened. Kickout made the choice to run through the way he did. And look, he got sent for it. That's it. I don't think that there's much. I really don't think that there is much more to say about this one. I think it is cut and dry. Like, yes, it didn't look like the best thing. And all these old people in the game are going, like, this isn't the game I love and all of this. I get that it was potentially relatively soft, right? Cool. There's been softer ones that have been send-offs, right? The key is consistency. We all say we don't care how a ref is ruling as long as it's consistent. This is something that has been. Basically, he's ruled the same way pretty much any other one has. That's fine. I know it's going to get brought up, so I'll quickly touch on one last thing. The LOI thing, right? It's going to get brought up. I know it will. LOI hit him in a relatively fine tackle, and before the ball was kicked, I think that was bullcrap. There should not have been a penalty there. Before the ball was actually kicked, should have been fine. What Graham Ansley came out and said was rubbish, but we'll come back to that. I
do agree with what you're saying about the LOI stuff, so I'll just get it out of the way and just think that's comparing the two are almost comparing an apple and a tomato. It's just completely different. Trav?
They're both fruits, I guess. But
come off it. Get off it. They're both illegal tackles, I guess.
It's a shit comparison. And as good as your take is as well. I don't think it's a send-off at all. And Chris has just jumped in and stolen a little bit of my sort of thought of, I mean, it wasn't even a fine. Nothing sort of came out of the judiciary. It was all dropped. Everything was out of it. So, however, I'll be very clear. It was a penalty for sure. I agree, 100%. You kick, you touch the leg. It's a penalty. I have no problem with that. I have a big problem with that it became a sin bin. And as far as the game's concerned, it's lucky that it didn't hurt the Bulldogs. Obviously, but and so I'm actually appreciative of that it didn't. But my opinion is that that's a very clear penalty. I'm not going to argue with that. Anyone that argues and says that it's not a penalty and should just be play on is blind. And I'll be very brutal with that comment because it's literally it's as simple as that. It is a penalty, but it is not a sin bin, and there is a major problem if we're turning that into a sin bin. And the other thing that I've got and that I've thought about, and my interest was piqued on this comment. And I've done I haven't done near as much research as on this agenda tonight as what I would normally have. But one sort of thing that I would like to have looked at is the difference between how you can run and attack the ball or try to smother the ball off a kicker and touch the leg and it becomes a penalty. But the amount of times that tacklers are tackling the kicker and after the ball and are not getting nothing. Or sorry, that was a really poorly worded sentence, but are getting no consequence at all.
No idea what you meant by that.
Yeah, are getting nothing. There is no consequence at all. So I'm confused around the difference between why you're allowed to tackle somebody whilst they're kicking, take them to the ground, hit them late even, and get nothing of any consequence. But the slightest little hit like that, it becomes a sin bin. I think we've got a problem. But to go back to the answer, and that might be another conversation that Joel might even elaborate further on the answer to that. You know a little bit more about the rules in terms of those things than me. But yeah, as to go back to the initial, I think it's a penalty at worst and no sin bin.
So just a couple to answer a few things. Like for Chris's point regarding the first sin bin and no fine, well, it's not. They actually came out a while ago and stated that there is going to be times where they will view the sin bin enough of a penalty when it comes to actions, whatever it may be. And we have seen that in the past. It has been where a sin bin, that's all it is. They leave it on the field, or the judiciary leaves it on the field and says, you know what, that's a big enough penalty. It doesn't happen a lot, but it has happened in the past. The tackling, I feel like the wrapping motion, that is allowed. That's okay to do. For mine though, the thing that Kickout did wrong, and the reason why it was a sin bin, was he tacked the leg. Whether it was milked or not, that's a completely different topic that we know happens more and more in this day and age of rugby league, and we all can agree we hate it, but it happens. But the fact of the matter is, Kickout took out his leg. I'll go back to last year and state what happened to Ilias. You don't want to see that ever to any other league player again. And I get it's a contact sport, but this is a sort of contact that needs to be avoided at all costs. Now, we see majority of people now, when they put kick pressure on, they're 3 meters away from the kicker. They're very, very careful with this. Kickout didn't really have a care for it, to be honest, the way I saw it. He went all in. Fair enough to him. That's the way the Dogs have played, and that's what's got him to where it is. But that also comes with a bit of risk. And unfortunately, the risk of that was him collecting Moses, which he did, and it did result in a sin bin. So whether people want to agree with it or not, it is a pretty black and white rule now. I feel like it has been since basically the Ilias moment happened last year. I've never once disagreed with anything post the Ilias one, because I feel like the kickers need to be protected in that, because for mine, it's probably the kicker at their most vulnerable. They're up in the air most of the time, or they're on one leg, so that they're off balance, things like that. And a player at high speed is coming and collecting them. So I think it just needs to be continually officiated the way it has been. And I just find it quite humorous, if I can just put this little dagger in as well, that the Bulldogs fans want to come out and complain about this when they clearly weren't watching the first half, when they got every single call, that it became actually to the point where I had people talking to me and messaging me saying the referee may as well put a Bulldogs jersey on. Like, it got that bad. So I love that one little call that's happened, a sin bin, that is in the rule book, has fired people up, but they just avoid talking about anything that happened in the first half, which some of those calls are absolutely ludicrous. And I'm never one to blame a referee, ever. I swear on my life about that. But the first half, the way Sutton was refereeing was an absolute joke.
I do agree. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the refereeing in this game, because then we're just going to go into a different topic that we don't need to. But I just think that consistency is what we've all been begging for. And look, basically, yeah, it was dangerous. He was in the air and his leg got hit. His kicking leg got hit. And that is just the most simple rule that was brought in. And that is it. Simple as. Yeah, look, I do think that, like, he's flown the head back, Moses, and he's kind of gone down a little bit. Yeah, okay. But you know what? He got a sin bin for his team. But again, the rule was still followed. It's not as if he did anything to necessarily affect that, in my opinion. Like, I just think he tried to milk it, but I don't think that necessarily affected the outcome. They've had a rule, and they finally, it's something they've been consistent with. So I don't know. I'm happy with it. I really am. I don't see any issue.
Trav, any final things to say? You're muted. You're muted again. You've done it to every episode. You do it to yourself.
It's actually because I'm trying to. I've been watching the video of it, and so to type so that you don't hear me typing, I'm trying to find it, which I have. I've been able to find it, and and it's making me laugh. The more and more I watch it, to the more and more I'm watching some of these comments and stuff like that, because like the more and more I see this video, I'm not going to say that, and I actually disagree. I don't think he was attacking the leg. I think the word attacking the leg is rubbish. I think he was clumsy, and I think he hit the leg, but he definitely didn't attack the leg. I think that's just ridiculous. I think it's a very soft penalty. It's a very, very soft sin bin, but it's definitely a penalty. That's pretty much all I want to say on that. And then in terms of the way that the officiating was, the way it was in the first half, I don't know. I watched the game and I didn't really have too many complaints about what was going on. There's a couple of things I went, oh yeah, I can see what that was. I can see why people are frustrated, but I'm not going to sit there and go, but I'm not going to sit there and say that it was trash or atrocious like the language that you're using. And would you feel the same if it was Munster? Absolutely, I would, because that's just the way it is. That's the rules. It's as simple as that. Like
Just on your comments, Sam, like you're saying you want consistency. The last thing on this, what we're trying to say is it is the consistent rule now. Like it has been a sin bin every time this has happened so far. So they're not changing anything. And again, don't compare the LOI incident because it's a completely different style of tackle and what's happened there. So every time someone has attacked the legs since what's happened last year, it has been a sin bin. So this is consistent. I don't understand why people keep talking about this C word and bring it up in this situation when it is consistently the rule now. Like you just can't do it. Like whether it's soft or not, that should be out of the question, because the fact of the matter is, end of the day, if Kiko didn't make contact with Moses's leg in some capacity, we wouldn't be talking about this now. So he's done an illegal move in the context of what the game's rules are, and we move on from there.
I wouldn't mind seeing the rules, but because I've been trying to look for the rules just in the last half an hour and can't see, and I can't see where it specifically states that any contact to the leg is a sin bin. But I'm happy for someone to chuck it in there and tell me, because I haven't been able to find it. I've been able to find that it's a penalty, definitely, and consequences depending on severity can be given as a heavier consequence. But I haven't been able to see specifically it state contact to the leg off a kicker is a sin bin.
Sorry, Shannon. I'll get better in my comparisons. I left that one. All right, let's get on to a topic that majority of us can probably get around. Queensland unveil their 1 to 20 squad now. Their actual side. We were waiting. We did obviously our preview Monday night. We couldn't talk about the Queenslanders because we didn't know. We heard rumours. Basically, all those rumours were correct. Crazy enough. I'm going to throw it to the Queenslander here, Trav. You said you were waiting to see if these rumours were confirmed before you made too much more of a comment. Now you've seen it. Let's see.
I haven't seen it. Sorry. I'm Googling it. I'm bringing it up now. Just go to Jake.
Jake, you obviously unfortunately weren't part of the Origin show. But talk to us about what you've seen at the moment from Queensland.
Well, I mean, look, here's the obvious one. DCE getting dropped. That's the obvious one we're gonna sort of talk about, I feel like, the most. I know why everyone was saying, it's time for him to go and he's getting older, and I fully understand all of that. I think not giving him the chance to rectify his game one is disrespectful. To be completely honest with you, I do. I think that if they were to drop DCE, right? Look, here's Billy Slater's thinking. He wants to make this change early because if they do lose, the series done. Sweet, right? I totally get that, yeah? But at the same time, he's been their captain for however many games he's been. I don't know the exact amount, but he's been their captain for a while. He still currently is their captain, okay? He is obviously such a talented player. We know what he can do. And he's actually responded really well, I thought, to his game one afterwards. I think he's responded really well in his NRL season games. So that one for me, look, I think he deserved the chance to try to rectify the way he played in game one. But Billy's gone with Tom Dearden, who does not have the best winning record as a halfback in the NRL. So I actually,
that was when
what's
they
that,
were
sorry?
shit house. But it was 5 games for the Brisbane Broncos when they were terrible. But
yeah, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. Their attack wasn't that great when he was there. Yeah, their attack wasn't that great when he was there anyway.
But yeah, anyways,
yeah. Look, the gist is, the way I see it, he plays like a 5'8", Munster plays like a 5'8". I don't know. I don't see it working. To be completely honest with you, I don't see that combination working. So we'll see. I'll let Trav continue. Now that I assume he has the team up, I'll let him continue and I'll see what he has to say.
Yeah, so I have actually seen it. I'm just thrown out with where my head's sitting with all the things I've got in the background. I have actually seen it. And I have also posted in our group about how much I'm pissed off about it. But yeah, I'll give it the changes. So DCE out, Dearden goes into the 7. Nanai out, who was the best player in game 1 for mine, gets dropped and Catewell comes in. Then Carrigan to the bench for Liero, which is just
can't believe that one.
And then the change of Val Holmes to the centers and Hammer to the wing, which I actually like. I call for that and said that, and in my opinion, that I think if Val Holmes doesn't play the centers, you don't pick him, pick someone else. I just don't. I think he's found wanting, and he definitely was found for lack of position understanding in game 1 against gun wingers for the Blues. So they were the changes. What's my thoughts? This is just like I said this. I was very clear on our Origin preview show, or not preview, but the Origin team list show, where I thought we needed to do and what changes were, and I'm just dumbfounded that they actually have happened. I can't believe Liero's put in the 13. I think what's he going to provide in the first 20 minutes? Like, are you just hoping that he comes in and just holds a brick wall and does literally nothing in the first 20 minutes, and then you bring Carrigan on and go, all right, Carrigan, go and run over them for 60 minutes? Because that's not Carrigan. Like, Carrigan is a workhorse, but he's a hard worker, and he builds into it. And that first 20 minutes is really important for the way that I see Carrigan playing this game. So I'm dumbfounded by that. And to be fair, I don't think Trent Liero is a bad player. I think he does some stupid things, but I don't think he's a bad player. But I honestly don't believe that he's an Origin 13. I just don't. And when you have guys like Tino, when you have guys like Carrigan and the like of others that are out there, it just blows my mind that he's our 13. I like the Capewell pick. I don't like that he's starting. It makes no sense why Nanai, who was our best player, and Nanai was enormous. Nanai showed so much attack. Like, Munster just constantly put the ball on top of Nanai's head. And I said this in the review, like 5 or 6 penalties for knock-ons and other sort of issues that Nanai caused. And it was the only way that we looked really attacking was when we put the ball on Nanai's head and said, go and get it. It just dumbfounds me how he's been put on the bench. And what's Nanai going to provide off the bench for us? Like, that's just one thing that I don't understand. Just leave Nanai there as an 80-minute player on that edge, and it makes no sense to me. And then the other thing I've got is Ruben Cotter is not an edge. So why do we continue to keep putting him there? I just don't put Cotter in the 13. Like, why couldn't we have put Capewell in the 11, piss Liero off, and put Nanai into the 12? Like, that would have just made sense to me. To me, this is looking like Billy's trying to play chess, but really all he's doing is playing a little bit of snakes and ladders. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't get it. Like, he's just constantly he's falling down the head snake as he keeps going down, because he's just making some dumb moves, and that's a hard take for me, because I've really liked Slater, and I've liked what he's done and what he's brought, and there was questions last year, and I think some of those questions were very warranted, but I think Billy's had to learn a few things, and that come from lack of experience, and I was okay with that. I'm now questioning. I'm just really questioning a lot, and then I'm actually questioning the whole Queensland organisation entirely for some of these choices. It just doesn't make sense to me. On a positive, I'm actually very happy that Dearden got picked. I'm comfortable with Dearden in the 7. I think it does, and it's a tough call. It's a big ballsy move to drop DCE. But I think it's warranted by the way that he's played all year, not just in Origin, and then counted on the last 2 Origin games last year when it counted, plus in obviously this game 1 when it counted at home, and he was basically the better part of nothing. I'm okay with that drop. I think Dearden is one of those guys that even if our pack doesn't provide much, which obviously didn't help DCE, let's be fair, but even if the pack doesn't provide much, Dearden is able to. I think Dearden can still play through a bit of that and provide stuff with his run, some of his kicks, some of his good ball play. So I'm very happy with the Dearden one, but I'll be honest, I think New South Wales win, and I'm annoyed that I'm going to a watch party in the city to watch it.
Well, you're not annoyed about the watch party. You're looking forward to that.
I'm looking forward to it, but I'm just annoyed that I'm going out of my way to go and have a good fun, and I'm going to go and watch this. I have grave fears for what's going to happen.
I think you're absolutely right, to be honest with you, Trav. Like Ruben Cotter, like you said,
I always
an
am.
edge.
Thanks, man.
He shores up the middle perfectly, so that makes the most sense. You just shift him into there. I just completely agree with that. To be honest with you, yeah, you'd shift Nanai into that second row spot. And you have Liero. If you have Liero at all, you have him coming off the bench again. What are our thoughts on dropping both Fulmer? No, we haven't said anything about both Fulmer as far as.
Yeah, it's a terrible
call.
That's a terrible call. But I mean, I've really only my review then was just on the list of 17. There's heaps of, and I spoke about this. I spoke about this on the team preview, so I won't double dip too much. But pretty much what I just said then was what I said 2 days ago. So it is a bit repetitive, but yeah.
I have a little bit of an outside. Would you make this call kind of pick? So far, I believe that Harry Grant is something along the lines of 0 from 5 in his last 5 starts as hooker for Queensland when he started at hooker. Would you potentially bring in a Reed Marnie or somebody along those lines as your starting hooker? I'm just throwing it out there. Kurt Mann starting potentially. Look, I don't care who. I'm just throwing the suggestion of would you have Harry Grant coming off the bench as a Melbourne fan, as a Maroons fan, and have somebody else as your starting hooker, even just to take out the first 20 minutes of steam. Get him on when everyone's tired, and then he can do his Harry Grant thing. Or even rhymed.
100%. I reckon you should. I think they should have Kurt Mann start, let him do the defensive work to the first 20 minutes. It's going to be a bash up after obviously what happened in game 1. I wouldn't go in as far as saying I'd actually just collect another hooker because I think it's a bit of a waste for 15, 20 minutes. I just have a good utility, which I do have. Kurt Mann can do a good job there to open the game. And then I feel like Harry Grant at rep level has played his best games coming off the bench, funnily enough. So I feel like that must be a pattern there. So I'd keep that up. I think 100%. The thing is, probably not that his form's been great this year, but this is the part where Queensland are definitely missing Ben Hunt because he'd play a massive part here and help Harry Grant out. And I think we're starting to see how much he does help that side and really starting to appreciate just how good he's been for the Maroons for so long. He would be ideal in this situation, I reckon. I think Trav would love to see him in that team at the moment.
Oh, yeah. And, funny enough, and it's funny what we say. Like, Ben Hunt has been, the question mark on Ben Hunt over the last couple of years being selected is absolutely showing now that he's not selected because he can't be because he's injured as to why he was. It's as simple as that. Like, now you're looking in the future to go, well, that's exactly why he got picked because he's good and he provides that 14 spot and he's a very good utility. I really like Kurt Mann. I really like the pick. Wish he got picked in game 1. Even with Dearden as the 14, I still would have picked Mann over Liero and run it that way. Geez, I sound like I'm a Liero hater and I'm a Storm fan and like that he plays for us, but he's just not a
he just starts, gives away penalties, drops the ball.
But I really like the call of Kurt Mann. playing the 9. Yes, I agree. I would really like to see Harry Grant play 60 and not the first 10, 15 or 15, 20 minutes and go from there. Absolutely. I think it's a good call. But I definitely wouldn't bring Marnie, who can only play hooker.
Just on this comment from Chris, do you think Dearden and Munster will be able to involve Ponga more? I'm actually starting to think it's not on the playmakers anymore. I feel like it's a Ponga problem to fix himself. There's been a fair few excuses around Ponga, I guess, this year, but if we look back on it now so far, we're halfway through the year. He's had a really poor year for Ponga's standards, and he got the chance to come into game one fresh out of that Newcastle bubble, which seems to be not the best place to be at the moment, and we didn't see really any change at all in his game. So I think it's up to him now to start to get that right. There's plenty of rumours around about his future, whether that's rattling him a little bit because the noise is getting louder about a potential move away from Newcastle sooner rather than later. So who knows? But I think it's up to him now. I think it's not up to these halves. They've got a big enough job in themselves to get their kicking game in order. And get their organisation of the forwards there as well. So I just don't know if adding Ponga to that list for those two is the right plan. And Munster's a new captain as well. He's got to worry about now being a captain for this team that is staring down the barrel of a series loss, another one 2 in a row, which they would not be happy about after losing at Suncorp game 1. Should they have gone Walsh then instead? No, he's not ready. Great game against the Titans, no doubt about that, but it's just not ideal. And I think we've got Jake frozen at the moment, so we'll see if he quickly comes back onto it. But yeah, obviously the last point to talk about here, we reserved our discussion on it, I guess, on our review show because he was only in the squad. Ezra Mam now has been named 18th man. So there's a high chance going off how Origin is and the HIA, things like that. He could be playing Origin in a week's time now. It's Wednesday night, so he'll be playing, but it's just about does he get on the field because 18th man you need to rely on the HIA is obviously happening. My thoughts on this, I need to try and keep him PG. I really do. But I'm just absolutely disgusted. I'm discussing the comments as well in social media at the moment about, you got to get over it, things like that. It's not a whole get over it sort of thing. Like it's very recent still. I think Queensland, Ben Ikin, Billy Slater have not read the room at all here. They've completely stuck the finger up at the rest of the people in the room, it feels like, and given this guy a remarkable chance. When, to be honest with you, we went through a few names that probably deserves it more to start with, and deserve is the key word there. In the likes of Fogarty, Jaden Campbell, that's just a couple off the top of my head that would easily be better 18th men there, and would be able to help, because at the moment they've got 3 5/8s in that team. If something goes down, I would rather like a Fogarty there and as a backup type option. So I don't like seeing it. I absolutely hate seeing the fact that Ezra Mam is in this to start with. The fact he's 18th man now, and there's a really good chance that he can play on Wednesday night, I don't like. Jake, I'll throw to you. You didn't get to say much on this, obviously, on Monday night, but what are your thoughts on this one? I just feel like I'd even go as far as saying I think Billy, like 2 years ago as coach, he wouldn't have made this selection. So it just adds into many puzzling selections he's done so far this series, which I said it on Monday night. It's starting to go down the end of the Fittler era as well, when he started to just be a bit loopy with some of his selections.
I assume this is Ezra Mam we're talking about because I didn't catch that.
Yeah. Sorry, mate.
My internet cut out. Yeah, right. No, you're right. Yeah. No, I think not only is it, first of all, an absolute joke that he's anywhere near like State of Origin, one of the most sort of prestigious kind of like honors, I suppose you could say, to be able to play in as an NRL player, right? I also believe that it is genuinely a bad fit for the culture of Queensland. Like, there's going to be some people in that team that there have to be some people in that team that disagree with what he did and go like, you know, that this is absolute bull. Like, there are other people who should have his place over him. And I honestly do believe that that's not only a bad call, like I said, for it's like obviously he's a good player, so it's not a bad call for the bringing in a talent, but it's a bad call for the culture of the organization, in my opinion. And it's a bad look too. Like he's come back in, he's played 4 games since he's been on this big suspension for this bad thing he's done. Like if those are the two, what?
He's played 2.
2 what? Oh, there you go. He's
games.
played 2 games. He's coming off his massive suspension for putting a little girl in hospital. Like, what type of players? And you know what? I can ask this to you, Trav, because you are a Maroons fan. What type of players do you want to see playing? I know he's not playing, but like in the squad and like playing for Queensland. Are those the types of players you want? No matter how good he is, are they the types of players you want playing for Queensland?
No. I mean, I said this in the review show. But I also said it with a preface of, we do unfortunately now we do need to accept that the legal system and the NRL have let us all down, in terms of what was happened, and how he is allowed to, the fact is that we're all really pissed off because the consequences of what happened, and we're all let down. Like literally we are. But we do have to, as people, go, we've let down. We do kind of got to get over it a little bit, because that's what's happened, unfortunately. And as pissed off as we are about it, we can't change it. We can voice the fact that we all can sit here and say he shouldn't be there. And we're all 100% right. We all can sit here and say that there's no way that even if maybe I can accept that a squad invite as a way to, which is what I said the other day, is a squad invite as a way to get him in and around the fellas, get him around to learn some culture, teach him some lessons, do that sort of stuff. I would agree with that. I wouldn't say I agree with it, but I'd be okay with that. But the fact is that he's in the team. Like, to me, the 18th man is in the team. And if there's a head knock or an injury, a major injury of some sort around the concussion stuff, he plays. So he's in the team. It's just a matter of whether he steps over the white line or not. That to me is frustrating. And I've said this along, and I'm going to go by what I said about why I think if I'm okay for DCE to get dropped because of his form, there's no way that I can accept that he should be playing because he hasn't had form. He had a very good first game. Yeah, his first game that he returned to NRL, he was awesome. Last game was okay. That's only 2 games. That's not enough to tell me that he has the form to play. And if I'm okay, to me, I can't be hypocritical like that. I can't say that DC is all good and I'm happy to drop him because of form, and then we play and then be okay with Ezra Mann being picked. So I'm not happy about it at all. I brought up the Jaden Campbell and said, if you're going to bring someone in that you want to teach the culture and you want to teach some values and give him some exposure to give Jaden Campbell the go. Go away from Fogarty. Although, yes, and I called it before game 1 and said I wish that Fogarty was the pick over DCE, but I was okay with DCE at that time, but I wish it was Fogarty, and that's what I said. But yeah, it's one of those ones where we do have to somewhat get over it, because we were all let down, but we can be pissed off. And I agree with you all about being pissed off, but yeah, he's allowed to play. The system let him play. So there's nothing stopping him from not doing it. And I just think that, unfortunately, I don't get it in terms of form.
I feel like, and just the last bit so we can move on from this bit, is I do understand at some point, and like Hayden rightly just said, there is some names out there that are in the game again. And I'm not saying blacklist him at all. Like, I understand, and I've been very harsh. I actually believe he should have been in jail personally. And I've said that on record a number of times. I don't agree in how soft the punishment was for what he did, and what he had in his system. All that sort of thing is an absolute joke. But I just think this year is just basically taking the piss out of every single rugby league fan that watches the game, because it's just not right. It doesn't sit well. It doesn't pass the pub test. It doesn't pass the moral test. And the fact that Billy, who I feel like has won every single Queenslander over for his basically his whole career, to do this I'm not saying he's going to lose anyone at all, but it definitely is just it's a slap in the face that I don't think anyone was anticipating from someone like Billy Slater. Like, it's just a very shocking selection on so many fronts that I just can't get over. I probably won't get over. I think, and I said it on Monday night, next year was the year to do it. When he has some time to actually play some football, get into some decent form, and actually feel like he's earned this. This one just feels like it's been shoved down our throats, and not in a nice way at all. So, I don't like it. Absolutely hate it. He doesn't deserve it. And it's a really big slap in the face to every single one of us fans out there. Moving on, Adam O'Brien, I obviously spoke about this on Sunday night, the review show, on Monday night, sorry. I just did a quick one by myself, but I want to get your thoughts on it, boys, because his comments about the fans, obviously his press conference, basically said they don't know rugby league, don't know why they were booing and then cheering it at full time. Came out the day after, extreme backpedaled very quickly to apologise. For mine, the damage was done. I feel like that apologies to try and save some face, which I think you've already, unfortunately, you made your own bed to lie in there, Adam O'Brien, from your comments straight after, while emotional in the press conference. Trav, I'll ask you, what were your thoughts when you actually heard this? You're seeing what everything happened, and that 24 hours afterwards, like, there was a lot going on. I can't believe a coach, especially a Newcastle coach, knowing how passionate they are about their team, and they turn up no matter what. They literally fill that stadium out almost weekly. To do what he did and to how it came out, I'm absolutely gobsmacked by.
Oh, how good was his damage control? Seeing Adam O'Brien in damage control like that when he tries to eloquently speak is freaking hilarious. That's just this is the most blandest, boring dude on the planet. Like, and then to see what he was doing and how he was doing it with that, like, oh, that was hilarious. Look, if that's the moment that we're saying he's done it, that's the line in the sand, and he's made his bed. I reckon he made his bed a couple of years ago. He's only just bloody lucky that they won a certain amount of games last year to continue his contract over and that sort of thing. Like, the bed's been made. The fact is that it's that they cost him a lot. They're going to cost the club a lot of money for him to drop him. So, it was dumb. Hey. Like, I like that I was happy that he well, not happy is not the right word, but I accepted the fact that he was emotional about the team booing him and that he had his boys. And some of the points were fine. Like, I get that he's saying that we're a young team and we're trying to figure things out. I get all that sort of stuff. I get it. Like, I get what he's saying, but don't come out and basically tell them that they're dumb. They've got no idea and they don't know rugby league. Don't tell that to your fans. They're the ones that keep turning up to your disgraceful game plan and your horrible picking of teams every week, and they still turn bloody up. Like, so don't tell them that they're stupid, essentially. Like, that was just, that to me was very dumb. He's the dumb one that doesn't know rugby league. Let's be fair.
I wish Brent was in the comments, Mr. Packlords himself, Mr. Knights fan, to hear his thoughts around this. And I know he's not the biggest fan, and I reckon this wouldn't have helped at all, but he's in and around the area a lot as well, so he could have told us a little bit more. But, Jake, what were your thoughts around the comments that he made and the backpedal as well? Like I said, I feel like the damage is done. Whatever fans he did have, I reckon he's quickly lost a majority of them as well. I feel like Newcastle will turn on him, if not have already done so. It's a huge mistake what he did. He could have gone about this so much better. Like, when the question was asked, I get have your players back, things like that. But some of the wording that he chose was just, anyone could have gone, that's not what to say.
Go on.
No,
go, Joel. Give us your opinion.
Seriously. Jake is done. Alrighty. We've had our say there. Let's talk an interesting one in team list. It's obviously Sandon Smith for the Roosters. Now, I believe he has been told by the Roosters he's okay to look at options for next year, which I'm shocked about. I was very excited to see Sam Walker, Sandon Smith actually combination moving forward, but isn't going to happen. Now, where his future lies, because he's obviously been dropped now to 14. I sort of said in our Supercoach one last night, I don't really get it. I feel like he's the perfect 5'8" fit for that club at the moment. He's been in great form throughout the year carrying that club. Where do you see his future, Trav?
Anywhere but the Roosters. Like, I think it's a clear sign after what he has been able to do. To be fair, I'll obviously there's some other things here, but to be fair, off the back of where they're sitting at the moment, which is just outside the 8, they're in finals contention still, very much so. It's off the back of him and his play. I'm going to be straight up. I'm going to say it. Look, okay, yes, there's been some really good plays. Like Niatasi's been really good and scoring tries. I think Savala's kicking game has really helped take Sandon to another level, and I agree with that. But Sandon Smith is one of the major reasons why they've been so good so far and why they're where they're at, thereabouts. The whole preseason, we said Sam Walker's going to come back about halfway through, but does he actually come back? Why would they bring him back if they've got no hope? And no one predicted the Roosters would be anywhere near this, where they are. Most of us said they wouldn't win enough games to be in the final, so therefore we don't rush Sam Walker back, bring him back in 2026. That's what we said. Let's be fair. We said that, let's be honest. Sandon Smith's changed that. Sandon Smith has purely changed that with the way that he is playing and the way that he has lifted that club. And then Sam Walker comes in and you boot him to the 14. And I think if Watson was playing, I don't think he'd be. And I think if all these other guys were back, I don't even think he'd be in the team. I'm very keen to see what happens next week and the week after with their list and where he sits, because I don't think he's going to be in the team. I think he's gone. So where do I think he fits? Oh, there's some clubs that would love to have him. I mean, you boys would be ecstatic to have him at Para. I think there'd be the Cowboys would probably be able to take him, although obviously they're comfortable with Purdue there and what's going on there. But I think that could create a bit of competition.
Apparently they want him as a hooker. That's what the word is going around, which I think he's a better 5'8" at the moment, to be fair.
I don't mind him at hooker either, though, because I think his ball playing and the ball in his hands is a good thing with what he's been able to do.
I don't mind it, but I'd sign him as a 5'8".
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, there's clubs out there that would gladly have him. I mean, with the Dolphins could use him next to Katoa. I think he'd be nice, even though they like Nikorima. But that he would be really nice next to Katoa. He'd fit in the Broncos. I think, although Ezra Mam's got that sort of that
dogs.
He could fit.
Well, the Dogs don't have a salary cap, so that'd be fine.
So, I don't know, but that's 12 appearances. He's got 5 tries from the 5'8", 5 forced dropouts, so 115 kick meters, 5 try assists, 6 line breaks, 2 offloads. He's made 186 tackles at 85%. He's averaging 88 meters a game. That's pretty freaking good for a 5'8".
Yep. No, I agree. I think he's been fantastic. I feel like it's very, very unlucky and very harsh and relentless to drop him. Jakey boy, I won't ask you about. I'll ask you from a Paris perspective, because they are one of the clubs that have been heavily linked to him. I've said it myself. I would love him at the club. I think it'd be a fantastic signing with Moses. That combination in the halves is awesome. I really like that. Would you take him at the club?
Oh, I'd take him in a heartbeat, mate. Look, everyone was talking about how we were going to get Galvin and all of this. I would prefer to have Sandon Smith over Galvin, because I think that as a person, I reckon he seems like the type where if you wanted to get on with someone at the club, if you maybe not potentially, he might have more skill than Gavin, and I think Gavin might have a higher ceiling. Yeah, sure. I think that you need sometimes players who just kind of feel like a bit of a glue player, in the sense of they'll get on with anyone, doesn't feel like he'd cause any frictions and stuff like that. I reckon he'd be perfect. Obviously, skill-wise, though, he is very high echelon at the moment. He's in really good form. I would take him in a heartbeat. And if you need to, if for some reason we needed to, yes, we could potentially play him in at hooker if that was what we needed. That's an option as well, if it came up where Riley Smith or something like that. Man, the versatility is a massive thing that we need. So I would absolutely take him in a heartbeat.
No, I agree. About to move on to the fan favorite segment of the show. It's going to wrap up tonight as well. Our League of Inches draft team So before that, though, I just want to ask a question to Trav, who's on mute at the moment. I was going to remind him so he takes himself off. Is your body sore at the moment? Is your chest and stuff? Are you feeling a bit sore at the moment?
Because I've been doing push-ups.
Mate, honestly, 170 today. I just finished it before that video. I am feeling it.
So I only registered at 50. So at 50%. So I'm only doing half. So mine has, what was it? I think it was 85 I had to do.
Oh, it's really ramping up, guys. Like, please support us. Anything helps. It goes towards a great couple of causes there, going towards helping raise awareness for mental health. I'll put links up every couple of days in our stories, Instagram stories, Facebook, things like that. So just keep checking those. And if you can, even $5, $10, something, it does go a long way of helping us. Alrighty, let's get into it. And this one's a special one. I'm going to have it on the screen, guys. We're going to complete our benches and the teams have made, because during the week we actually completed our squad, so we know how much money we've got left and where to go from here. Moral of this story, and I'm just going to quickly go enlarge so I can see this stuff. Don't let ChatGPT pick your team, because it can end quite badly for you. We've found that out. Someone here, I will not let him. I will not go behind the scenes, but just a little quick one there. Don't always trust ChatGPT. Alrighty, this is where things are at. So you can see down the bottom we have hang on a second, that's me. Oh, hang on, we've gone through here. You can see at the bottom the cap remaining, the cap space, things like that. So few of us have a little bit, few of us don't have much. We're going to go through the 4 remaining bench spots. Who's up? Because I reckon we go 2 at a time here.
It was you.
I went last time, so it's whoever's next.
Okay.
On my screen, I'm at the bottom, so that's you, I think.
All right. Perfect. I want my 14. I want Blake Moser. 150K.
Oh,
I want my second one, Jack Williams, 350K.
I'm not giving you Jack Williams for 350 because he's on more than that at the Eels, but I'm okay with the Moser. I'm okay with.
What's he on there?
He's on more than that. I'm pretty sure he's on about 450.
Why is Trav saying, "Oh man, does he want Moser and he can't afford him?"
No, I can afford him. I was just hoping no one would bring it up. But you have.
No, I'm all over Moser. So, all right, let's go Moser first. Then while Jake looks up Jack Williams, Mr. Check the prices. Who's in for Moser? Are we having a bit of a bid off or what? Let's remember how much money you've got left, guys.
I don't want Moser. I'm not interested.
Trav?
I'll go 160.
170.
How much do I have? 906. Is that what you said?
I'll go over to your page quickly. You've got
905. I'll go 175.
190. Just give it to
me. You can have it.
Give me Moser. 190.
I'm ready for you, Joel. He's Jack Williams. He's listed at 505,000.
505.
Oh, ouch! Yuck! I'm not paying that much. Well, he is starting, to be fair, so that's fair. Okay, I will go Ethan Bullymore, 400K.
Oh, I like that one. Good one.
All right, I'll just do a quick.
I'm not interested in it too much.
But I'm not interested, but I just want to see what he's worth. Yeah, I like the call.
I think he's very underrated, Bullimore. Very underrated.
So do I.
What'd you ask for? How much money?
400.
350. 400.
No, you asked for 400. I'm okay with 400. Are you okay with 400, Trev?
Yeah, I don't know what he's on.
I looked at it and I couldn't find anything about him. So
I don't know what he's on either, but I think 400 is pretty okay for a bench forward coming. I think it's pretty fair.
Thank you. All right, that's me for the first 2.
That's you, Trev. You're up.
Let's do 2 at a time.
I like it. I'll go by 2. Can I have Connolly Lemalelu for 225?
No, he's on way more than that.
Actually, you'll be very surprised, and I'd like you to go Google it, but you'll be very surprised.
Is this another Chat GPT thing, though?
No.
I'll let Jake Boy check that. I feel like he's on way double that.
His estimated salary for the 2025 season is $503,000 according to NRL. Oh, that's fantasy. Hold on.
You're looking at he's looking at the fantasy cost, man.
No, not normally. Not normally. That one was not normally.
I actually went under what I found. I found Connolly Lemon. I went under at 225 at 250. I legitimately have found it today about an hour ago at 250. So I went under at 225 because I don't have lots of money. So I said 225.
Well, I don't think you can go under. So if you found him at 250, I'm willing to give him to you for 250. You can't really go under.
Yeah, I'm on board for that. And I'm on board for 250. That's been sort of our. I'll go 250.
All right, so I'll go 250 for that. Then and Dimitri Volmunga at 150.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. He's
forward. I don't think he's had a contract in upgrade or anything. So yeah, I can live with that. I'm okay with that.
Sweet. What's that? 400k used of his 900.
Yep, he's 500 left.
He's getting there. Jakey boy, what are you two?
My first one I want is.
Oh, hang on, I've got to be moving over to you. Hang on.
I would like Tyron Wishart for 400k.
Wishart for 400. Ooh.
So
he's a bench player. He doesn't start.
Legitimately, he's going to it legitimately. See, that's such an interesting one, and this is a hard one to say yes to. Whereas I see what you're doing, I get it. He's a bench player. He's doing what he's doing
at the moment.
I know. He'd be if that, maybe that, but I just know that if he wasn't going to stay at the Storm and sign somewhere else, he'd be on double that. I just
doesn't matter, man.
It's such an interesting one because we have also gone, like it's such an interesting one.
I think it's a great get. I'll give it him to you.
Yeah, I think it's a great get, but yeah.
What is it? 400? You said
400. Yes.
I'll let you have 400. I'm happy with that.
All right, done. Next up, I would like Luca Moretti for 120k.
Ooh, I'll go 130k.
Oh, you want him, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, good luck tussling with the big dog. I've got cash to burn, mate. All right.
So do I.
140k.
I just missed out on Jack Williams for 350, mate. So look out.
Yeah, that's all right. 140k. I'll take it.
170k.
Yeah, I'll go 180. I'll take you there.
I thought you were going to let me have
I'll take you there, mate.
I'll go Moretti for 200.
So I think he's worth it. That's the thing. I've got the money to burn, and I think he's worth that much money. So you know what? 220.
250.
You're going straight to 250. I don't like it. 270 final offer. Final offer. You beat it. You got him.
275.
Oh, scumbag. Righto. Have him.
Thanks, mate. I'll take that.
All right. I'll have to change my last one when I get to it then. Actually, I can do it now. I'll do it now. I've got to pick my second person because you got him. Sam Tuivasa, 120k.
Yeah.
Happy with that, Trav?
He's muted himself.
Oh, I just realized I was muted again. I don't actually know who that is, so I'm not gonna.
Perfect. Right. Well, he's literally played, I think, 5 games for the Eels, and he only gets about 30 minutes a game. But he's starting to look really good. He injured himself, so he's out at the moment. But
what did you say? How much?
120. He's on. I'm pretty sure he's on the minimum.
Yeah. He just got a 1 year upgrade, but I'm pretty sure it's still just the standard. So
Yeah, I don't think he actually
Fancy.
got a price increase for that.
120k. I'll give him to you. Well done.
I now got to find a new friggin'.
Well, you got time now because it's back to me, and I've only got one spot left. So for me, finalising, what was that?
How much money have you got left?
So I currently have 495k left. I actually wrote down my bench before doing any of this, and I've got 2 from 3 so far. And I'm going to stick with my other guy. I'm not even going to look and see if I can get a better player because I actually really love this guy. I'm a big fan. Vanilla Pole, 400k.
Yeah, I can't bid you for 400k. I've only got 500 left, and I got 2 spots to put in. So I'm not even going to bother.
I'm beating him by 20k out.
Very funny. I don't particularly want him, but I don't know why he'd be on about that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he'd be about that for sure. So thank you. I'm locking that in to 400k Vanilla Pole, completing my side with 95k to spare. Look at that. Alrighty, Trav, what are your next moves?
Yeah,
Here's the team, by the way. I forgot to upload that last time.
Kurt Mann 300.
He's on more than that. I know he is. I looked up him the other day. He's on.
I don't think you looked. I think you must have looked at the fantasy prices.
No, I didn't. I didn't this time.
Yeah, you did.
There's
Because
only
I
one
can tell you
time.
now how much he's on. And I 3 sourced this one.
I want proof. Send it to me.
He asked Gus.
Yeah.
Takes you too much time, Jake. Just bloody.
What price you say? What price you say?
I said 300. I could tell you.
I reckon he's at least 3. I reckon he's got to be at least 350.
Nope, he is not.
What do you reckon, Joel?
I feel like he would have gone over there for more. Like
He didn't.
he left the Knights, and I feel like the Knights would have been able to afford that.
He didn't.
Who are your sources though? Like drop me some sources.
I've got the. Oh Jesus! No, I'm out of it now. And I do have 3. I had 3 of them. There was 3. I'm not in it now because I've gone out of them. But I can guarantee that I tell you. I'll tell you at the end when we're off air.
And the thing is, he just re-signed, or recently in March, so that would have been an upgrade. So I reckon he'd be on more than 300 now.
I don't agree with you. and I'm not giving you shit for it either. This is one of the legitimate ones. And I even came on the start of the pod in the green room, Joel, and said how cheap Kurt Mann is. And how surprised I am.
Yeah, you. I know how you work. You're just planting a seed there. You're just getting a seed planted. Just to move this on, you know what? I'll give him to you for 300. I can't be bothered.
That's fine.
Cool. That gives me 200 left. Yep. Go, Jake.
All right. I'm gonna go. I want Dylan Lucas for 400.
Dylan Lucas for 400.
Nah, 450. He's about 450.
No, he's 650. I've got him in my previous notes.
Where? Mate, you're pulling numbers out of your bum.
Dylan Lucas, 650. That's 100%. That's what he's on.
You know what? I can actually afford that. I can actually afford that. So I'm gonna go Dylan Lucas because we talked about this the other day. I would swap him into my starting number 12, and then I would have Dylan Egan being off my bench. So I'll take him for 650 if you're willing.
Ooh, I like that play. That's good play.
I'll take him for 650.
How much? 620?
650. 650.
How much is that? You finished?
No, he's got one more. And he's
got
one more.
How much do you have left? I've got. If I buy this person, I'll still have for the money I think it will be. I'll have 130k.
So you just spent out of 1.17 million. So you've now
and then the person I'm going to buy is about 120k, and I'll have 130 left. So you
both got one to go. So lock him in.
I want Luran Patea from the Panthers. prop from the Panthers. I want him for 120K.
I won't be saying no.
I know you guys probably don't know who that is, but
No, I do
he's-
know
Oh,
who
I
he
know.
is. I know who he
Oh,
is.
he's-
I'm just trying to say whether I want him or whether you're.
How much do you have to
is
spend?
he on your
Trevor?
list?
I have 200.
Did you have him on your list?
We could end this with a bit off.
I didn't know you
'cause I
had.
just
I didn't expect anyone else to have him.
I just got Kurt Manley. No, I'll pay 200 for him.
I mean,
Straight to
you can
200.
try. You can try. I've got to spare 130K, so I can add 5K.
Yeah, don't spend it.
You can't. So
Go and spend it.
it's fine. Okay. All right. I will. It's my last one to pick anyway. So
Is it your last
I'll
spot?
make him
Oh, there you go.
200.
So
I'm
how's
gonna make
the-
him
how-
201. He's
You've got-
201K. I'm buying.
Have you still got over a 200K in your salary and you haven't spent it?
No, I've got less. I've got less now. I'll have
100K.
I'll have about 50. About 50K left.
Ooh. Well
There's
done.
two-
Trav, your
I've
last
won.
one.
There's two players that I couldn't find values for, so I'm not sure what they are. So I'm just going to say both of them, and then we can go from there. I couldn't find Finafuayaki's value,
He's up a
and
bit.
but I sort of suspected 220 maybe, but if you're
350 or so.
if you're going to go there, and Harry Hayes I couldn't find, but I thought maybe around the 200K.
He'd be around. I'd give you
Yeah.
Harry Hayes. I think
I'd be okay with that.
Yaki's more, but Hayes, I'd be.
And the
Happy.
other one was Josiah Pahalu, who the Storm just signed. But I know that we signed him for
Oh,
next to
million.
nothing. I know we signed him for next to nothing on a 2-year deal, but I don't know what it was. So they were the three players. I thought Pahalu and Harry Hayes at 200 was. I thought I'd be stretching it with Finafuaki, but Harry Hayes and Pahalu at 200, one of them.
I'll give you either of Hayes or Pahulu. So up to you.
Jake, are you happy either way?
Go for it, man. You got no money left. I'll allow it.
I'll go the Storm boy, Pahalu.
Oh,
We've got to help out these poor folk, isn't that right, Joel?
Mate, the team's
Yeah.
loaded. I don't need.
getting down. All right, perfect. That's it. Done. That's done and dusted. I'll put a post out later on. And yeah, I know you all enjoyed that. That segment we did. We'll find something to do as well. Again, that was really good fun. I know Jesse's spewing you missed out. Yes, hoodies, definitely try and look at something there. I think that'd be a great addition to have. Let's just quickly do our tips and get out of here. Obviously, a shortened week this week. Just get rid of this one there. So Thursday night, so tomorrow night, Sharkies against the Dragons. I'll just go around again. Trav,
Sharks.
Jake.
Sharks also.
Yeah, I will have the Sharkies. Titans against Manly.
Manly.
Jake,
Yep, same here. Yeah, same
not
here.
bad. Knights versus the Roosters. First of the two Saturday games. I'll tell you what, Trav, might be a day to check out Caxton Street Brewing Co. Watching these two.
We potentially could, actually. We potentially
Yes.
could. That's if I get my bloody reports back and they're okay. They get edited tomorrow. But that would be a really good place to go and watch some footy, although there's no game at the Suncorp this week, is there? No.
No, there's not.
The
But that's
Dolphins
even
are
better.
playing.
Watching the bunker.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Watching the bunker and go. I've got the Roosters to win this one. Walker's return.
Jake,
Yeah, I've got Roosters. Knights suck.
I've actually got
I think this will
The
be a good game.
Roosters.
To be fair.
the Roosters.
Yeah,
as
I've
well.
got a bet on $1 odds on Adam O'Brien calling his fans dumb idiots.
Oh, he's going to double down this week. After some booing to direction
Yeah.
at him, he will double
Yeah,
down.
I'm gonna-
You heard it here
I'm
first.
putting
Wow.
big money on it.
Next up, Cowboys against the Dolphins, another Queensland derby. Jesse will be just rolling around.
Hasn't
at the
been one
moment.
for a while. To be fair, there hasn't been one for a while. I've got the Dolphins.
One last week. That was one last week. Trav, who you got?
Dolphins.
Broncos against Titans last week. Don't forget about the Titans. They are in on the go. They are in Queensland.
Yeah, there was.
Jake?
Technically. I've gone Dolphins, but I tell you what, I think it's going to be game of the round.
Interesting call.
I got the Dolphs. Fins up. And the last one, Rabbits against the Doggies. Got the Dogs. Trav.
Yeah, I've got the Dogs too myself. Yeah, just too many out for the Rabbits.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Perfect. I feel like a fair few people have gone and started to watch the cricket, so hopefully you're listening back to this at some point. Good luck to the Aussies. I believe it's not looking great at the moment. I haven't watched any of it yet, but yeah, I've heard it's
3 for 61.
Great. Oh, starting to be a bit respectable, which is okay.
Marnus is out for 70. Yeah.
Oh,
good selection, chucking him into opener and putting Cameron Green into the 3. Yeah, great selection. Well done, selectors.
Thank you for listening, guys. Really do appreciate it tonight. Very happy to have our teams all done and dusted as well. We'll be back. We won't be just quickly as well. We obviously won't be able to do our live review show next Wednesday night for Origin purposes because we will be at our watch party. So just it's going to be pretty hard to manage. So at this stage, that won't be happening. I don't see that changing. But come down, watch party, come check it out with us, Caxton Street Brewing Co. Obviously, join and make sure you go into the giveaways that we are doing, 2 double passes to that event. Or if you don't want to test your luck, you don't think you're going to be lucky, just go ahead, $55 a ticket and get your tickets to attend. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Trav. Another week done and dusted. We will see you all next week. Bye.